I'm not threatening you. Say one more word, and that's 30 days. 30 days.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Sovereign Citizens Hall of Fame with your man TP. Today, we are back in the state of Tennessee, back in Judge David Wolfe's courtroom for the second trial of sovereign citizen Sherrick Vaughn. If you are not familiar with that name, about a week ago, we covered a trial dealing with a young man by the name of Sherrick Vaughn. It came down to dealing with a revoked license, some threats that he made on an officer, some jail footage. Just a lot went on. Body cam footage. It was a lot, right? But we shared that trial. We shared it in two parts. And now we are back for a second trial with more serious charges, with more charges than he had before. I believe in this trial, he has about 4 charges. So we are here for his second trial. If you have not seen his first trial, I encourage you to go and watch that trial, both of those parts, because that way you will better understand what's going on here. So listen, we're in for a ride. I'm not going to prolong this. So guys, let's go ahead and jump into Judge Wolfe's courtroom.
If after your deliberations you find the defendant guilty of any offense, the court will set the punishment at a separate sentencing hearing. The jury will not be involved in setting the punishment. This completes my opening comments to you. The next phase of the trial is the formal reading to you of the indictments in this case. General Bryson.
In the Circuit Court for Dickson County, Tennessee, at Charlotte, November term grand jury 2022. The grand jurors of Dickson County, Tennessee, duly impaneled, sworn upon their oaths, do present that on or about August 30th, 2022, in Dickson County, Tennessee, and prior to the finding of this indictment, Sherrick Marquis Vaughn then and there did intentionally and knowingly cause Bethany Page to reasonably fear imminent bodily injury in violation of Tennessee Code Annotated 39-13-101 and against the peace and dignity of the state of Tennessee. Count 2. And the grand jurors aforesaid, upon their oaths aforesaid, do present and say that on or about August the 30th, 2022, and prior to the finding of this indictment in the county and state aforesaid, Sherrick Marquis Vaughn then and there did knowingly and unlawfully remove or confine Bethany Page so as to interfere substantially with Bethany Page's liberty in violation of Tennessee Code Annotated 39-13-302, all of which is against the peace and dignity of the state of Tennessee. Count 3. And the grand jurors aforesaid, upon their oaths aforesaid, do further present and say that on or about August the 30th, 2022, and prior to the finding of this indictment, in the county and state aforesaid, Sherrick Marquis Vaughn, then and there, in a public place, with intent to cause public annoyance or alarm, did unlawfully cause a disturbance by Sherrick Marquis Vaughn, being loud and disruptive, and engaged in fighting or in violent or threatening behavior, or creates a hazardous or physically offensive condition by any act that serves no legitimate purpose, or made unreasonable noise which prevented others from carrying on lawful activities in violation of Tennessee Code Annotated 39-17-305, all of which is against the peace and dignity of the state of Tennessee. Count 4, and the grand jurors aforesaid, upon their oaths aforesaid, do further present and say that on or about August 30th, 2022, and prior to the finding of this indictment, in the county and state aforesaid, Sherrick Marquis Vaughn, then and there, did unlawfully appear in a public place under the influence of a controlled substance or any other intoxicating substance to the degree that the offender may be endangered, there is endangerment to other persons or property, or the offender unreasonably annoys people in the vicinity, in violation of Tennessee Code Annotated 39-17-310, all of which is against the peace and dignity of the state of Tennessee. Signed, W. Ray Crouch, Jr., District Attorney General.
To that indictment, how do you plead, Mr. Vaughn? Plea of not guilty is entered. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the next step would be for the state and the defense, if they choose, to make an opening statement. Do you wish to make an opening statement, General? All right.
At the time that this case happened, Bethany Page was the clerk at the Exxon there across from Walmart, but in front of the post office. And the defendant had been a customer at times before, come in and out of the store. She had seen him. But on this particular day, he came in, and she will tell you that she smelled alcohol on him, and that from the very beginning of him entering the store, he was yelling, he was loud, he was accusing her, using a different name not hers, of being an informant for the drug task force. They argued back and forth some. Other customers came in the store. Mr. Vaughn left, and he held the doors, preventing her from coming out. That will be the proof that you will hear substantially for all of these counts. You'll also hear from the officers that came about Mr. Vaughn's behavior when they arrived, and anyone else that was there. You will hear that the defendant's girlfriend was present, but officers and Ms. Page will tell you that she did not go into the store. She was in the car during this interaction. And so your primary proof will be the testimony that you hear from Bethany Page about what happened to her on this day. And at the end of this, we'll come back to you and ask you to return a verdict. Thank you.
Mr. Vaughn, do you wish to make an opening statement?
Good evening, y'all. I'm sorry, I'm not 100%. I got a headache. Y'all look, I see stars all the way around y'all. Please forgive me that I'm not more invested in this, I guess, when it's been all about me. What the state has said, basically I can say that you're gonna hear a lot of hearsay evidence, no one with firsthand knowledge. You're gonna hear basically a lot of he said, she said with nothing to back it. And I'm here to prepare and show you that today. Thank you.
All right. State may call your first witness.
State calls Bethany Page.
Bethany Page. Page, if you'll come right up here. Ask you to face our clerk and raise your right hand and be placed under oath.
Are you Bethany Page?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
All right, I'm gonna ask you, you gotta pull that microphone up and speak into it. You're a pretty loud talker, but these people have to hear everything that you say, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Would you spell your first name and your last name for our court reporter?
First name is Bethany. Bethany. Last name is Page, Page.
And in August of 2022, where were you working?
Exxon,
Now, there are a couple Exxons in Dixon.
the one that is connected to Crystals.
Okay. And that is in Dixon County.
Yes, ma'am.
And we're talking about the one, I think law enforcement calls it Malfunction Junction.
Pretty much, yes.
Okay. So Walmart is kind of across from you, the post office behind you.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you still work there today,
I
some?
sure do.
But it's not the Exxon anymore. What is it now?
It's called Shell Station now.
Shell. All right. On August the 30th of 2022, did the defendant come into the store?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you recognize him sitting here today.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, if the record would reflect that she has identified the defendant.
All right, the record will so reflect.
And had he ever been in the store before?
A couple of times to buy dip and all that, nothing major.
Had you had any disagreements with him previously?
No, ma'am.
When he came in the store on August the 30th of 2022, what was his demeanor?
Like, he just pulled up and he started being irate. Or like,
Let me back up. Where did he pull up?
In front of the store, in front of the door.
So not at a gas pump.
No, ma'am.
Was he in a parking space?
No, ma'am.
So he parked directly in front of the doors.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did that catch your attention?
Yes, ma'am, it did, because, like, I was wondering why would someone pull in front of my door like that?
Did was he driving or was he the passenger?
He was driving.
Were you able to see if anyone else was in the vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
Did anyone get out of the vehicle with him?
No, ma'am. It was just him.
Was there a long passage of time before he came in, or did he come right in?
He came right in as soon as he pulled in front of the gas station.
Okay. So let's talk about him walking through the doors. Does he come straight up to you, walk around, or something else?
He came up to the counter and started ranting, raving, cussing, and everything else to me.
What types of things was he saying?
That I'm going to be, you're the informant for the TBI, you set my girlfriend up, the whole 9 yards.
And have you ever been an informant for law enforcement?
No, ma'am.
How did you respond to his behavior?
Well, to be honest, I got a little bit angry and scared at the same time.
Okay. Tell me, does he stay on the opposite side of the counter from you? Tell me what goes on after this.
Yes, he stayed on the opposite side because I was behind the counter checking customers in. Before he came in, then after the customers left, that's when he came in, started cussing me, calling me names. That I was his girlfriend, Jessica, tried to set her up or something like that.
He thought you were Jessica.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, let me get this timeline a little bit clear, because you said he came right up to the counter, but then you said something about he came up after customers were being checked out. Can you clarify for me?
Because there was one customer in the store before he came in. And after he left, he came up to the counter, and that's when he started ranting, raving, and cussing.
Okay, so you got two he's. So the other customer leaves, and then the defendant comes in.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So was anyone in the store when he first came up to you?
No, not at the time, no.
How long do you think he was in the store with you?
Maybe 15, 20 minutes at the max, as far as I can remember.
And were there any other customers that came in during that time?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about that.
It was one, then when the customer came in, the situation kind of settled down because he was talking to the other customer, then they both left.
The defendant and the other customer
Yes,
both
ma'am.
left. Okay. When he told you, and are you quoting him when you say, "I'm going to beat your ass"?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay. Were there any other specific threats he made to you?
No, ma'am.
Did he say that one time or more than one time?
More than once. Like a couple of times or so.
And when he said that, paired with his behavior, what were you thinking?
What am I going to do? That's when I called 911.
Did you think he might actually attack you?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay. So you called 911, and what did you tell them?
I told them there's an outrageous customer that was threatening to beat me up, cussing me and all that. They needed to come as soon as possible.
So the defendant had already left the store by the time the police arrived.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When he left, did you stay in the store or did you attempt to go outside?
I attempted to go out, but I went back in because I had a customer come in afterwards.
Why were you attempting to go out?
See which direction he went to, just in case the cops did come, and tell him which way that he went.
Were you able to go outside or did something prevent you?
Something prevented me was a customer that came in at the time,
Okay.
after everything settled down and he left.
Did Mr. Vaughn do anything preventing you from leaving?
A couple of times he was standing in front of the door, would you let me out? Because I was telling him to leave, you need to leave my store and the whole 9 yards.
Would you have been able to leave with where he was standing?
No, ma'am.
Did you have any reason to believe he was under the influence of anything?
Yes, ma'am, because when he came up to the counter and he smelled like straight up alcohol, because I knew he's been drinking because his eyes was bloodshot red and I did smell the scent of alcohol on him.
Was he slurring at all?
I don't remember.
Was he steady on his feet?
Like I said, I can't recall on that one either.
But you do remember the odor of alcohol in his bloodshot eyes?
Yes, ma'am.
When he had come in previously, had you noticed him being under the influence?
No, ma'am. He was always calm, cool, joking around with me, the other customers.
Was now the store there at Exxon, and this is going to sound like a silly question, okay? Is that open to the public?
Yes, ma'am.
The words that he was using when he talked to you, was he using other cuss words, other language?
He was saying F-U, B-I-T-C-H, and that's pretty much it.
Was he talking about the volume we're talking now, or was he louder?
He was a little bit louder. He was outright, just put it that way.
Now, were you able at any point to see the other person in the vehicle?
I seen a glance of her, but I don't remember what she looks like at all.
When you saw her, did you recognize her as someone that you knew?
No, ma'am, I do not. Because I never seen her before.
Did he was screaming at you, was he also screaming at any of the other customers or just you?
Just me.
When he was screaming, was he standing completely still, moving around?
He was moving around,
What was he doing with his hands and arms?
raising them up, act like he was going to hit me, or I'm not for sure if he had something in his hand or not.
Now, this was August, so it's summer.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What time of day did this happen?
I will say between 5 and 7 because it was still daylight outside.
And what, was he wearing a shirt?
As far as I can remember, yes.
Okay. So if he had had a weapon, would you have been able to know?
No, ma'am.
One moment. Have you ever gone by the name Jessica?
No, ma'am, I have not. My name's always been Bethany.
Nothing further, Judge.
Mr. Vaughn, you have the right to cross-examine this witness if you wish to ask questions.
Yes, sir, I do. 1 second.
All right, if you'll come to the podium, please.
How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
All right. You stated that you're familiar with me.
Yes, I am.
Would you state for the record how you were familiar with me?
You were a customer at my gas station. You came in there a couple of times before.
And you stated that what did I normally come in there and do?
You buy a dip or cigarettes or something to drink.
Okay. How long ago did this incident happen between you and I?
3 years ago.
Okay. So your memory of this is all fresh today?
No.
It's not fresh today?
It is because I read the police report and I do remember some of it.
Okay, so the police report helped you refresh your memory.
Because I actually forgot all about it until they reached out to me.
How long ago did they reach out to you?
About a month and a half ago.
Okay, and it brought your memory back? Okay. And how do you feel about that incident?
I just wanted it to go away
You just wanted to go back and you didn't?
because I'm missing work right now.
No, I can understand that. I imagine you are. Is the crystals, is the Exxon connected to anything?
It's connected to crystals.
Is there any way to the crystals?
Yes, there's a door inside of Exxon that you can go through crystals to.
Okay. It's not blocked or anything?
No.
Okay. You stated that when this incident happened with you and I, that there wasn't any other customers in there.
Not at the time, no.
When I entered the store, there was none in there?
No.
Okay. And you stated also that I came straight to the counter and started cussing you.
Yes, sir, you did.
And then you stated that also that I stayed in the store for about 15 minutes, just walking around afterwards, correct?
As far as I can remember, yes.
You didn't feel the need to grab a cell phone or a telephone and call for help?
Well, at the time, no, but when you started being outright cussing, that's when I did grab my phone and call 911.
And you stated I cussed you when I walked in the store, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then I was walking around the store for 15 minutes,
Yes, sir.
and you called the police while I was still in the store.
I sure did.
Okay. Did the police arrive while was I out in the store?
No.
But I
You
was
already left the property.
I was in the store for about 15 minutes. How long would you say that you talked to the police before I left the store?
About, as far as I can remember, about 5 or 10 minutes after you was in the store, that's when I called.
About 5 or 10 minutes. Okay. Have you ever been arrested before?
We're going to need a jury out.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll step across the way. I would remind you not to discuss this case with each other until you come back in and the case is concluded.
Your Honor, I have a mind at this moment to ask for a mistrial. The defendant was advised before court that there was no history to be asked about. He can't ask about arrest. He can ask about convictions, but she doesn't have any that are admissible. This is an attempt to sway the jury with inadmissible information.
Your Honor, I had no intent on doing that. You stated that I could ask certain questions surrounding that or convictions. I mean, I can reword it for you.
You don't need to. You've already asked the question that was impermissible. The question that you could ask was, have you been convicted of a felony or a crime involving moral turpitude or dishonesty? That was instructed to you this morning. You even asked me to define what was a crime of dishonesty. You were, having been instructed what the two questions you could ask were, you asked one that was not permitted. So the options I have are to bring the jury back and instruct the jurors that you were specifically advised and instructed by the court not to ask that question, that it was impermissible. Or I can grant the state's motion for a mistrial if that's what they choose to do, and we'll have to grant a mistrial. And it would not be creating for you double jeopardy, because a mistrial that results from the defendant's own misconduct is not a bar to a future prosecution. It would just mean that this case gets rolled to January and we come back to it then.
Why January?
Because I'm not here again until January.
Can another judge sit in? We're under a speedy trial still.
They can, but I've heard all the motions that you have filed, and therefore I would be the one.
I don't think anybody can do any different.
Pardon?
I don't think anybody can do any different.
I tend to agree with you. General Bryson, do you wish to have a mistrial, or do you want me to instruct the jury?
Judge, I will not ask for a mistrial at this point. If there are any other inadmissible questions, I will return to this issue. I would ask that the jury be instructed.
I will. Bring the jury back. Mr. Vaughn, please make sure that you do not ask any inadmissible questions. If you have a question that you want to ask that you think might be inadmissible, then you need to ask it outside of the jury's presence. We'll have a jury out hearing.
Well, while they out, I got a question for you then. You should have said something.
Stop him for a moment. What do you have?
My next question I was going to ask, was she on drugs? Oh,
That would not be admissible.
okay.
I mean, Judge,
I don't
if
think
he's
that violates the
attacking,
rules.
hold on. If he's attacking her ability to perceive, remember. I mean, I think he can ask, was she under the influence of drugs at that
You're
time?
talking about at the time of this occasion?
Of course.
Yes. I don't think he can ask, during the time frame, have you ever used drugs? Did you use drugs? I think it is permissible to ask at the time that this happened in the store.
Right.
Answer present, correct?
You can ask the question, was she under the influence of any drugs or controlled substances at the time that this incident occurred 3 years ago?
Okay.
All right, bring the jury in. All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your patience. I'm going to instruct you about something. There are rules of evidence and rules of procedure that I've told you about that I have to enforce. Prior to the beginning of this case, there were certain issues that were raised, and Mr. Vaughn is representing himself, but nonetheless, he was instructed that there were certain questions that were not permissible. He just asked a question that was not permissible, and I have sustained the state's objection. I told you before in my instructions that the questions themselves are not evidence. So the fact that he asked a question that was impermissible should not raise any inference, nor should it create in your mind any question about this witness's character in any way, shape, form, or fashion. The question that was asked was impermissible. It had been ruled on earlier, and therefore I'm instructing you to disregard the question and not to attach any significance or not to try to infer what the answer might have been had he been permitted to ask that question. And I've instructed Mr. Vaughn to avoid asking any such questions in the future. Mr. Vaughn, do you have any other questions?
Yes, I do. Have you ever been arrested for any felonies?
No,
At the time of this incident, were you on drugs?
I was not, no.
You were not on drugs. You stated that I was a customer at this store previously. You've seen me multiple times before, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did I always park in the same spot when I came to this store?
No,
Okay. Did I buy anything from you when I entered that store?
no. As far as I can remember, no.
After I allegedly said these things to you, I just chose to wander around the store?
Yeah, you was close to the front door walking around, then you left when I called the cops. And that's when the other customer came in and y'all both left.
Okay. You said that I was speaking to another customer in the store?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and was we loud or laughing?
No, you was talking normal to him.
I was talking normal to him. Did you feel any fear at the time? Or
I
threatened?
did, that's why I called 911 for.
So you felt fearful. Did you ask me to leave the store at that time?
I sure did, and you kept on saying, no, I asked you numerous times to leave my store, and you never did.
And this is why I was talking to the other customer too? Did the other customer say anything?
As far as I can remember, no.
They didn't intervene or? Did you just say that I also was acting normal at this time, speaking to that customer?
You was, yeah. Because
Okay,
you wasn't outright, you wasn't cussing, you wasn't yelling or anything like that.
so me telling you, no, I'm not leaving your store is an irate and,
No, because your demeanor was different when you was talking to me and the customer. Your demeanor was different.
what would you say? I'm like a normal person?
The way you was talking to the customers, like me and you talking now.
Okay. Would you say that I was under the influence of something?
Yes,
What do you believe I was under the influence of?
alcohol.
Okay. You stated earlier to the state that You tried to leave the store but was prevented by a customer because you had to go check them out.
Yes.
Is that like normal fear tactics or something to go check out a customer?
Yes, because the way your demeanor was, I was making sure you left my property and see which direction you went to so I can tell the officer when they showed up.
What right direction did I go?
You went the right towards Events Auto Park.
I believe earlier you stated to the state that you didn't know which direction I went because you went back in the store to check out a customer.
Exactly, but when the customer left, I walked outside and seen what direction you went to.
Okay. Was you still in fear?
When you left, no.
Okay. I was in the store, did you say anything else to me besides get out the store?
As far as I can remember, no.
Okay. You were behind the counter when I came in the store, correct?
Yes.
When did you come from behind the counter?
When I really don't recall that one when I did.
Was I still in the store when you came from behind the counter?
Yes.
What was your purpose from coming from behind the counter?
Trying to get you to leave my store.
So you were gonna physically make me leave?
No.
Please.
I was trying to get you to walk towards the door so you can leave.
And how were you gonna do that? Please explain.
There's no way to explain it. I was walking towards you. I wasn't going to hit you or anything. I just wanted you to leave my store.
And you were scared doing that?
Yeah, I was.
Okay. You stated earlier also that I prevented you from leaving the store. Can you please explain in your own words?
You was standing in front of my the store door, so I couldn't walk out.
Is this also where the vehicle was parked?
Yes, in front of my doors.
Was I inside the store or outside the store?
Inside the store.
Inside the store. Okay. And Crystal's door was still open?
No, it was not because it was locked.
It was locked? Is it always locked?
No, but when I'm there, most of the time, it is locked.
Why is it locked at 5 p.m.? You told the state earlier it was about 5 p.m. this incident happened.
Yes, like I just said, most of the time when I'm working, I keep that door locked.
Oh, you keep it locked?
Yes,
So you can unlock this door when you want to?
I sure can.
Oh, okay. Okay, so if you needed to leave the store that way, you could if you needed to, correct? Okay. So did you feel like you was trapped?
Not at the time, no.
Okay, thank you. No more questions.
Redirect.
One moment, Judge. No redirect, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, ma'am. You may step down, and is she released from her subpoena?
Judge, I would ask that she remain under the rule.
All right. If you will step outside and remain under the rule in case you need to be called again. State may call your next witness.
State would call Corporal Jeffrey Clark. Goes by Scott.
Clark, step around, raise your right hand, be placed under oath.
Are you Corporal Jeffrey Clark?
Yes, ma'am.
And you also go by Scott,
Yes, ma'am.
which is what I was trying to remember when I called your name.
It's okay.
Would you spell your first name and your last name for our court reporter?
My first name is Jefffery, and my last name is Clark.
Corporal Clark, were you working on August the 30th of 2022?
Yes, ma'am.
And How were you employed at that time?
I was a patrol officer for the City of Dixon Police Department.
And how long have you been in law enforcement?
Going on 5 years.
So you would have been about 2 years in at that point?
I believe so, yes.
And has all of that time been with the City of Dixon?
Yes, ma'am.
Corporal Clark, did you receive a call out to the Exxon on that day, April the 30th?
Yes, ma'am.
Not April, August the 30th? Were you the first officer on scene?
No, I was not.
What officers arrived before you?
2 agents with the 23rd Judicial Drug Task Force.
Is it normal for the drug task force to respond to calls in the city?
If they're close to one that has come out, especially a priority one, which is calls that require lights and sirens, if they're close to it, they will respond until the other city cars get there.
And did dispatch categorize this as a category or a priority one?
To my knowledge, yes.
Do you know about how long they got there before you?
I do not an exact time frame.
Would it have been minutes?
A couple minutes, yes.
When you arrived, tell us where all of these different parties are.
When I arrived on scene, the 2 agents with the drug task force were already out with Mr. Vaughn and his girlfriend at Advanced Auto Parts.
And Advanced Auto Parts is, where is that located connected to or relative to the Exxon?
Right next door.
Do they share a parking lot?
Actually, let me rephrase that. I believe Dixon County Tire and Oil, I think, is in between them.
Okay, so it's some distance over.
One business over.
Would the defendant have had to get back on the main road to go over, or can he traverse through parking lots?
I believe you'd have to go out and into another parking lot.
Who did you speak to first?
I spoke to the agents on scene.
And then who did you speak to next?
Mr. Vaughn.
And what statements did Mr. Vaughn make to you about what happened?
He advised that he got into a disagreement with the female inside the store.
Did he elaborate on that disagreement?
Said that there was some argument going on between the female in the store and his girlfriend.
And did he make any statements about his actions in the store?
Other than that, no.
Did he tell you anything about leaving the store and holding the doors?
I believe he said something about holding the door.
What was his explanation for that?
Off the top of my head, I do not know.
But he did make an admission to you to hold the door.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you have put in your report why he told you he held the door?
I don't believe he gave me an exact reason.
Okay. Who did you speak to next?
I believe I went over and, well, actually, I spoke to Miss Dozier at that time, but she was very hesitant to tell me anything of what happened.
Let me ask you this. When you went up to speak to the defendant, what was his overall demeanor?
Pretty upset.
Were you able to get his name from him?
At first, no.
Did you ask him who he was?
We did.
And once or more than once?
How many times, I do not recall.
Did you ask his girlfriend who he was?
We did.
Would she give you his name?
No.
Were you ultimately able to identify him as Sherrick Vaughn?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And that's the same person that's seated here at council table?
Yes, ma'am.
Get a statement from him. Ms. Dozier, would she talk to you at all or just didn't want to say anything?
Didn't really want to say anything.
Next, who did you talk to?
After that, I went and spoke to Bethany.
Were you able to view any of the surveillance footage from the store?
The full-on video, no, but she showed me a still shot after she described her sequence of events, and a still shot showed Mr. Vaughn with his hands up in the air. And in my report, I remember notating that there was a customer in there when he had his hands in the air.
Now, let's talk about body cameras for a second. You normally wear a body camera.
Every shift.
And you also have an in-car video.
Yes, ma'am.
When you brought this case to the DA's office, did you bring copies of those body cameras?
On the old software, they are downloaded onto DVD disc, and they should have been with that grand jury packet, yes.
And do you download those or a supervisor?
The supervisor does.
Okay, so you didn't bring DVDs with this packet, is that right?
To my recollection, I'm not sure.
Okay. Would you remember marking the grand jury packet sheet?
I remember marking DVD request submitted, and I remember submitting that to my sergeant.
Okay. So what does that mean?
That with the old body camera footage, the body cameras are required to be docked via USB cord into the docking system. After
So you
that,
have to physically take it off and plug it into the
yes,
computer?
ma'am. We did that every shift. After that, the car camera videos are downloaded onto an SD card that are inside the dash camera. Those are taken out and swapped with an empty SD card every 2 weeks when we do our time cards and pay periods. Those are also provided to the sergeant, and those get downloaded into the software.
With all those moving parts, is that the same body camera and car camera system that the police department uses now?
No, ma'am.
About when did that transition take place from the old system to the new system?
2023, I believe.
Why did the police department change body camera systems?
Our digital ally system was having problems with corrupting files and losing the camera footage.
Did you intentionally destroy or have anyone else destroy the body
ma'am.
camera?
Okay.
So there is no body camera available today.
No, ma'am.
We don't know if it was human error or computer error.
Do not know, no.
Why did you charge the defendant with false imprisonment?
Due to Miss Bethany's statement about him holding the door shut and preventing her from exiting the store, taking away her liberties of escaping the store.
So by false imprisonment, you don't mean that he tied her up.
No,
You mean he prevented her from having a clear path to exit.
correct.
The defendant, as you spoke to him, did you smell the odor of alcohol on him?
I did.
You did?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, are we talking a little bit, a lot? Could you elaborate?
To my knowledge, I don't know how much. I do know that the odor of alcoholic beverage was present on his person.
Why did you charge him with disorderly conduct?
With Miss Bethany's statements, along with the person being there in the picture of the still shot of the camera footage, causing a public alarm.
Did he ever hit Bethany Page?
No, ma'am.
Why did you charge simple assault?
He, according to Miss Bethany's statements, with him threatening to beat her up, the opportunity and jeopardy was there at the time. And she said she was placed in fear.
Judge, at this point in time, I'll pass the witness.
Vaughn, you may cross-examine.
Afternoon, Mr. Vaughn.
Can you recall how long ago this incident was?
3 years ago.
Okay, 3 years ago. Was it summertime, wintertime?
The technical term, I believe, still summer,
Still summer.
with it being August.
You seem like you got a very vivid memory of what happened. Would you please explain to me how?
My police report.
Your police report. Okay. You stated also that there was an issue, there was errors with your body cams possibly, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Was there also some issues with your patrol cam?
It was all in one software. The issue wasn't with the cameras themselves. The issue is with the software at the department.
Okay. Was there any issues with the Exxon cameras?
We did not have Axon cameras at the time.
No, I'm talking about, I know
Oh,
you
the Axon.
didn't.
Oh, I'm sorry. Our new body cameras are called Axon, so I thought that's what you said.
Okay, that's nice.
You're
to know.
saying the Exxon gas station.
Yes, sir.
Not to my knowledge.
Did you happen to get a copy of these pictures?
I did not.
May I ask why?
I believe I wasn't able to get a copy at the time.
Was there anybody else present at the scene when you got there?
At which scene? The Exxon or the
Let's say
Vance Auto
witnesses
Parts?
per se. Any witnesses per se?
Witnesses, i.e., are you talking other law enforcement officers, or are you talking just citizens?
And citizens or law for anybody? Just
Off the top of my head, no.
okay. So you weren't the first to arrive at the scene, were you?
No, sir.
So all the information that you received is from DTF or Miss Bethany, correct?
Correct.
Not firsthand knowledge?
No, sir.
Okay. You stated that you charged me with a public alarm. This was because of a picture
That's
you seen?
disorderly conduct.
Of disorderly conduct. This was because of a picture you seen?
It's based off of Miss Bethany's statements along with her sequence of events. And then that picture she showed me with the customer being in that picture is why I charged you with that.
So
Causing a public alarm.
And how would you describe how it looked in the picture?
Off the top of my head, I cannot. I know in my report it notates your hands were up in the air.
Does that technically mean like I was being aggressive, violent, threatening, public alarm? Does that mean that?
It would coincide with the mannerisms of someone who's in upset attitude, but I cannot say for sure.
How would you say my attitude was when you encountered me?
I don't think you were happy dealing with law enforcement.
Okay. After hearing Miss Bethany's statements today, would you say they're about the same as they was the day you arrested me?
Not all the way, but it has been 3 years.
Okay. When you were speaking to Miss Bethany, would you believe that she was in fear?
I did.
You did. Did you notice any other doors inside the Exxon?
I was not paying attention.
Okay. And when you encountered me, where was I at?
The Advanced Auto Parts store.
Would you say, how long would it take you to get to this scene?
From
where you were? Well, I don't know when you received the call, but how long would you technically take to get to this scene?
couple minutes.
Couple minutes. So it wouldn't take you 10 minutes?
No, sir.
Okay. What about DTF? You think it took them about 10 minutes?
I do not believe so. I know they were nearby. Their exact location I'm unaware of.
They got there before you too?
Correct. I do remember being down south, and if you're not familiar, down south is our southern jurisdiction area of our city, is towards like the interstate. I was not all the way at the interstate, but I was in that zone.
Okay. So you say, what is your typical response time if someone made a call? About
A couple minutes.
couple minutes, being 2-3 minutes?
Couple minutes.
Okay.
Unless it pops up right next to me.
Did you hear that I was driving irate or anything?
Not driving, no.
Trying to get away from a scene or something? Seemed like I was running from anything?
Nope.
You think if I was running from something, I would go to Advance Auto Parts next door? Okay. There was no other witnesses on the scene?
Not to my knowledge.
None to take witness statements from?
Well, not to my knowledge, but at the same time, if a witness doesn't want to provide a statement, they don't want to be there and cooperate, they don't have to.
But if your body cam was on, that would corroborate with that, correct?
Correct.
Okay, what about Miss Bethany? Did she make a witness statement that night?
She did not.
Okay, what about the DTF? Did they make a supplement witness statement?
They did not.
Okay, you said you felt like Miss Bethany was in fear. What is your normal procedure with dealing with somebody that's in fear of another person?
Would you elaborate?
How would you comfort the situation, or how would you address the situation if I told you I was in fear of this person right here, how would you address that?
I'd ask you how they made you in fear.
Okay, after I told you I was just scared, and you come to the conclusion that it was an assault you're going to charge the person with, what would you do then?
Well, in that situation, if we're going to talk about that, if she's saying she's in fear in a public setting when there's other people around, that constitutes a public alarm mixed with the opportunity and jeopardy being there with you saying, I'm going to beat your quote ass, then that would constitute an assault could have occurred.
Okay. So did you hear me make these statements?
No,
You got any proof of these statements?
Miss Bethany.
That's your only proof?
Yes, sir.
You believe her to be very truthful?
That is her testimony. She swore to it.
Okay, do you believe it to be truthful?
I do.
Okay. So what is, someone that tells you that they're scared, what do you do after you arrest someone? What is your normal procedure? Do you have a victim statement you give them? Do you notify them that they can put a restraining order on someone? Or, do you just let them go on about their lolly-dolly way? You don't have to make a statement or nothing?
For domestic violences, yes, but not just simple assaults, no.
Someone that says they're in fear, wouldn't you make a record of that other than just arresting a person?
That's what the police report's for.
Just so she don't need to make a statement?
She don't want to.
Did she want to, or did you not give her that
I
option?
cannot recall.
Okay. Have you ever been inside the Exxon?
A couple times, not a lot.
Is there another way into the Exxon besides the front door?
I'm not sure, honestly. I don't frequent that store a lot, so
Okay. You're not for sure if there's a door into Crystal's between
not
them?
to my knowledge, I'm not sure.
Okay.
No offense to her, but kind of not a good gas station, so I stay away from
I
it.
agree. Okay, let me see. So everything that you're basically telling me you put in your report was not firsthand knowledge you received from other officers that was on the scene prior to you. You stated that you didn't think I was too irate when you got there, did you?
You were not happy, I will say that, and you were not acting normal.
What's that mean? Would you use your own words?
Upset, I would say. You weren't talking like this.
Okay. Was
Yeah.
I screaming, ranting, raving?
You're a little louder, yes.
Was I screaming?
Off the top of my head, I can't remember, but I remember it wasn't like this.
Was I ranting and raving?
I can't remember.
Was I free?
Free.
Well, was I in handcuffs?
At one point, you ultimately were put in handcuffs, yes.
And where was I placed?
Later on in the back of my patrol vehicle.
All right, thank you. No more questions.
Senator Bryson, redirect.
Let's clear up a few things. When you got to the scene, were there any other customers in the store?
Off the top of my head, I'm not sure, but I do remember that picture of the security camera footage. There was a customer standing there with them.
If there had been customers in the store, would you normally have spoken to them?
Yes, I would have.
So if your report doesn't indicate you talking to any customers, is it most likely that there were no customers at the store?
Very well could be.
In fact, usually if there are people on scene, you take down their information.
Correct.
So if we look at your report, you would have down the defendant's information, his girlfriend's information, Miss Page's information. Would it help refresh your recollection to see if there any other information you took down that night?
It would.
Take a look at the document that I've handed you, and when you are done looking at it, let me know, pass it back up, and I'll ask my question again.
Okay.
Okay, will you pass that back? Did you notate that there were any other customers on scene when you arrived?
No.
Let's see, you were asked if you had any firsthand knowledge. Let's clarify that. You had statements from the defendant, right? And Miss Page. And then you also looked at the still photos from the surveillance. Would you say the still photos aligned with what Miss Page said or contradicted it?
I would say they align with it.
Okay. And then we've been throwing around the term witness statement. Miss Page did not write you a written witness
No,
statement,
ma'am.
right?
No, ma'am.
But she talked to you.
Correct.
Would you say she talked to you freely?
Correct.
Did she answer any questions that you had?
I would believe so, yes.
Okay. So she did give you a statement. She just didn't write one down.
Correct.
And the same, you spoke to the officers that were on scene, the drug task force officers.
Correct.
Okay. Even made notes in your report about what they told you.
Correct.
So they didn't write a statement, but they still gave a statement. Would you say
Correct.
that's correct? All right. Nothing further, Judge.
Anything else, Mr. Vaughn?
So, you stated that there was no other witnesses. That just seemed correct?
Off the top of my head, I do not know. However, there is none notated in my narrative or in the witnesses tab of my report.
Okay. I'm still just mind boggled about the fact that,
Judge, objection. Let's keep to questions and not statements.
she didn't let me ask the question.
Well, you were making a statement. What is your question?
I'm still mind boggled about the fact that you were at the scene and you didn't have nobody write a statement. How is that possible?
At the time, I had a body camera on as well.
The body cam that didn't work,
At the time, it was working, yes.
but earlier you stated it was error, so it was
Later
working at the time.
on, I can't predict the future, so.
Okay. That'll be all, Your Honor.
Anything else from this officer?
Did you believe that your body camera was recording the events of that night?
Yes,
And had you not had a body camera or not known that it was having issues or whatever, would you have handled the situation differently?
correct.
Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry. Had you not been wearing a body camera, or had you known that we would have issues having a copy of the recording, would you have handled the situation differently?
Yes, ma'am.
How would you have handled the situation differently?
In that term, I would have first, if it was a problem with the body camera while on scene, they had a visible red light illuminated whenever they're on and recording. If it had been dead or non-functioning at the time of the scene, I would have went into my car and swapped the battery in it to see if that fixed the problem and make sure it was recording at the time. If I knew I didn't have a body camera, or if I knew it was going to mess up, I probably would have went the extra route of writing statements, yes.
So you had a means on the body camera to see that it was working while it was recording?
Correct.
So it recorded that night, we just don't have the recording?
Correct.
Nothing further, Judge.
Mr. Vaughn, anything?
Yes. You stated you would have handled it different if you known your body cam wasn't working.
Correct.
What is the relevance to that? Like, would it have changed the fact that you didn't get a witness statement for everybody at the scene, including your fellow officers?
Well, like I said before, if a non-officer civilian witness does not want to write a statement, I can't force them to. I can ask, but if they don't want to, I can't force them to. The fellow officers with the drug task force I work with and alongside, so I can just get their statement from them personally. And if I need be, if I wanted them to write a supplement, I could have asked them.
You didn't feel the need to get them to write a supplement for you when you weren't the first person on the scene?
No, sir.
Wouldn't it be more adequate to do it?
At the time, no, because I had my camera footage.
Let me ask you this. You stated that you also felt like I was under the influence of drugs, correct? Or alcohol, or whatever the case may be.
Alcohol, yes.
Okay. Did you give me a field sobriety test?
No.
Did you get my blood drawn that night or anything?
No.
Did you give me a breathalyzer test?
City of Dixon doesn't use breathalyzers.
So there is nothing that you can possibly show the court today that I was drunk or under the influence or anything, is there?
My testimony that you had the odor of an alcoholic beverage emitting from your person on that afternoon mixed with my training and experience.
So your training and experience, I mean, you could just speculate?
If you can smell the odor of alcoholic beverage emitting from someone's person, it's usually due to them consuming it.
Okay. Was there anybody else at that scene tonight with me, maybe?
Your girlfriend.
Okay. Was she under the influence of anything?
I do not recall.
What about Miss Bethany that night? Do you know if she was under the influence of anything?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. That's all I have, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Officer. You may step down.
Thank you.
General Bryson, you may call your next witness.
The state's approved, Judge.
State has rested their proof. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll step across the way to the jury room, then let me take up a matter and then we'll come back to it.
Sorry, you can ask for it. You can ask for your water. I don't know.
Respond, the state has rested their proof, and as you know, as we've been through this before on a couple of other occasions, it now falls to you to decide whether or not you want to testify at this trial. Do you wish to testify today? You have the right to call witnesses, and I know you have a witness here. Do you want to call your witness and offer her a testimony?
Yes, Your Honor, but I also have a question too. I know this is a state's, whatever you want to call him, but at the same time, he's a witness in this. For him to be present a full time, wouldn't it be kind of unfair on my behalf?
I'm sorry, what?
I mean, he's a state's witness, and he's also, what do y'all call him else? He got 2 titles a day. The state's designee or whatever. I mean, wouldn't that be unfair to the defense to have him sitting through the whole proceedings and giving testimonies after hearing other witnesses?
Well, it may be considered to be unfair to you, but it is the rule that allows the state's designation of a law enforcement officer in a criminal case to be seated at a table and to be present during that. They're exempted from the rule, a specific provision of the rule allows the state to designate a law enforcement representative, and that person can remain in the courtroom. So whether it's fair or unfair in your opinion, it is permitted by the laws. Now, the next question is, do you want to put your witness on the stand and then decide whether or not you want to testify, or do you know at this point where you want to testify or not?
Let's put the witness on the stand.
All right, we're going to take about a 10-minute recess, and then we'll come back and let the jury know we're on recess for 10 minutes, please. We'll stand in recess for 10 minutes.
All right.
Well, guys, we've come to the end of part 1 of this trial. As we can see, the state has rested its case, and we're going to stop right here before Mr. Vaughn calls his witness and starts his side of the proceeding. But just to say a few things about everything that's going on so far, I will give it to Mr. Vaughn. I feel like he's doing a better job than he did the first time in his first trial. And if you remember, if you saw the first trial, and that's why I told you to go and check out that first trial before you check this one out, is he does not have standby counsel this time. Last time he had standby counsel, and for him not to have standby counsel this time, it seems like he's more comfortable. It seems like, he's a little more confident. And I'm going to be honest, things, I don't know, some things feel a little shaky here. Not to say that he didn't go in the store and act up and say the things that he said, but when the prosecutor was talking to Bethany, the young lady that worked in the store, and they started talking about the whole door situation, about her going out the door, she said that, listen, I went out the door to see which way he went so I can let the police know, right? But then the prosecutor came back with some type of weird theory or weird suggestion that he was blocking her from leaving out of the door. But it was like, well, she said that the only time she tried to go through the door was to see where he went. And then he addressed that by saying, listen, there were other ways for you to get out. So, was I really blocking the door? I thought that was a little sketchy. But nonetheless, the trial is heading where it's heading. I think both sides have made good arguments, but I will say I feel like Mr. Vaughn is definitely doing a better job. And I think he has poked a few holes in some of the things that's been said. I think he's really been good at addressing even what the corporal came up and testified on. Some of the questions he asked him were really good. So I'm interested in seeing who this witness is that he has coming, which will probably be his girlfriend or wife or whoever was in the car with him. But so far, definitely, it's been entertaining, definitely, educational in some points, just learning certain things about how a trial works. But I know I talked enough, but we will have part 2 for you very soon. If you have not seen his first trial, I encourage you, go down in the description. The links will be down in the description for part 1 and part 2. Check those out. Love Judge Wolfe's courtroom. He always does a great job in his courtroom, especially dealing with sovereign citizens. But listen, guys, it's time for me to get ready to get out of here. I know we've been here long enough, almost 2 hours, dealing with this first half. So listen, thank you for joining me here at Sovereign Citizens Hall of Fame, guys. I appreciate you. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And for now, guys, Sovereign Citizens Court is adjourned. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.